She fainted. Can you believe it? Okay, I'm gonna sit here in front of these roses because the other day y'all said I look so pretty with all these nice looking roses behind me. So I don't know if it's them helping me look better or me helping them look better, but no, just kidding, they are pretty. Just a nice spot to sit. Got the greenhouse kind of blocking the road from road noise and such. But I was gonna let y'all in on a not a secret, I guess, just something I didn't know, new to me, and it was really surprising to me, and I'll never do it again. I don't plan on it, at least. So what that was actually was I was going through my bees about a week ago. I went back through some of those nukes that I'd done a video on here a while back, and looking for queens. I actually did find several more, but in doing that, when I find a queen, I always usually have a paint marker in my pocket. We'll grab her up, put a little dot on her just so she's easier to find. One reason being that when I go to put the frame back on in the hive, I know where she's at, and I can always just be real careful right there with that. But as I was going through there marking several of my queens, I come to one and I marked her, and when I did, I set her back on the frame just like I always do, and something wasn't right. She fell off the top of that frame, fell down in the bottom of the box, and I heard her hit. I mean, it was not loud, but you know what I mean. You could hear it. So she just free fell off that frame, fell down to the bottom. I thought, what in the world? So I pulled a couple of frames out of that hive, set them off to the side, reached down in there and picked her up. And look right here in my hand. Look what I've got right here. This is a picture I took the other day when this happened. Is she dead? For real? So I start freaking out. I was like, oh man, what in the heck? I've never had that happen. I know I didn't squish her. So I put her in a queen cage, put a couple other bees in there. I was like, I don't know what I should do. So what else did I do? I called my friend. I said, this is what happened. What is going on? How did this kill her? He said, that didn't kill her. She fainted. Can you believe it? A bee fainted. He said, just set her back down in the hive very gently and let the other bees kind of, I don't know what you call it, just kind of bring her back, wake her back up or whatever. So I done that. Here's a little picture of where I set her on top of the frame and all the bees are gathered up on her. I thought, yeah, maybe they'll wake her back up. Well, after that, I just gently put all the frames back in there, put the top back on. Now I'm fixing to get ready and go see if she's running around that frame or not. But now I'm getting ready to get suited up. It is blistering hot. I hope it's not blistering hot where y'all are, but it's about 92 degrees here and it feels like about 70% humidity. It is hot. Definitely not the time of day that I really want to be working bees, but got to get things done, and I really want to see if this queen's in there. Alright, so like I was saying a while ago, these four, remember these four nukes? We went in them, and if you've got a brick standing up, that means it's queenless. Laying down brick or no brick means not queenless. So now we know we got 1, 2, 3 of them ended up coming back to these hives, and I've got one with queen cells. But those are not the ones we come over here to look at. We're gonna go check it out right now. So as you can see, this one has a brick standing up. That's how I know this is it, just for sure. But I've only got 2 of them down here this size. We're gonna pop the top, and I'm gonna do it quick because I don't have no smoke with me today. Oh, so one thing I can already tell is that they're a little agitated. That's not a good sign at first when you first go into it. Oop. Come on, girls. Y'all know I like using these rubber gloves. Oh yeah, they're kind of aggressive. It's not good. Usually when they're that aggressive, it means they're queenless. It can mean that, and it can also mean that they're really guarding their storage, and that's possible too right now, because where we are here in central Arkansas, we're fixing to go into dearth. Dearth is when there's really not a whole lot of plants producing nectar, so bees are going to be using up some of their honey storage. But as you can see here, they've got some nectar and pollen stored up in here, so that's a good thing. Oh no, that ain't good. All right, so this is not a good sign. There's 2 emergency queen cells. You can really tell they're emergent. There's actually probably maybe 3 right there. You can tell they're emergencies. They're real short. It's the only place they had probably with the right age of eggs. I'm gonna keep looking for her real quick. So that's not a good sign. They're definitely not full enough in here to want to swarm. And with dearth coming, it's not going to be a time that most hives will swarm. So all of this is sealed capped honey. So they've got plenty of food in here, but not very many bees. So they're definitely not swarming. I did not see her. Man, I know I said earlier I don't think I'll be marking any more queens because she fainted. Pretty positive now I won't be marking any more queens, because it either killed her or they killed her. Whew. Alright, I think that's all I'm gonna do today. I got my smoking hot videographer back behind me. Are you not hot?
I'm very hot in this bee suit.
You're hot to me too.
Okay. Keep this G-rated.
You are hot. I'm just making sure I didn't see her there for some reason. I don't think she's here. Can you see some of their wings flapping? They're fanning and cooling the inside of that hive. Here, let me slow some down real quick. So I just realized there's not an ending on this video, so I'm gonna make one real quick. Just a few key points in there that as I was editing, I noticed that when I referred to dearth, that means in honeybee terms, that means no nectar flow in your area. There are places during the summer that do have nectar flow, and I kind of plan on moving some of my bees there. If you're around crop fields and things like that, soybeans, they are an excellent source of nectar. We do got quite a bit of white clover, and if the temperatures are right, white clover is a heavy producing nectar plant. Some other takeaways from the video: marking queens can be dangerous, and in this case it was deadly. Whether me marking her actually killed her or not, I don't know, because like I said, when I put her back in there, she hadn't come to yet, but the other bees may have thought, oh, something's wrong with her, could have killed her.
carried her out of the hive and made new queens. Another thing you might be asking is, why did I mark her yellow? I do have a white paint marker. Yes, I've got one. I did not have it in my pocket because I was using it out in the shop, and I've got a little grease on the tip of it from where I marked a thing on my engine, trying to mark the timing on it. That's regardless of this, but that's what it was being used for, and I just didn't have it with me. I was not concerned about the color. A lot of people do the color just to keep up with knowing how old their queens are, or if you're selling bees and you've got a new virgin queen or a new queen that you're marking, yes, you want to mark it with that specific year. But as for me at this point, we're not going to be marking no more queens. We're not selling very many hives, if any at all. We're just trying to repopulate all the hives that we've lost. What's crazy is you don't even have to be marking queens to have something like that happen. The guy that I called, he texted me the next day and said, hey, I was capturing queens and putting them in queen cages to move over to new colonies, and he had one faint. But he put it in the queen cage, put some worker bees in there with it, come back to it 2 hours later, and she was fine. So you just never know. That's just an extra step in our beekeeping that I don't think that we're going to do at this point. Not going to say that's not going to change down the road if we get to overpopulated with colonies and going to sell them. Yeah, I'll probably be marking them to sell to people. That way, when we go to transfer them over into their hives, they'll know that, hey, right there's that marked queen. Especially for new beekeepers, marking a queen is very handy because you can get used to finding that queen. Thank y'all for watching, and until next time, God bless.
But so I set her down. So I set her in it.